halted. This after the court ordered for the suspension of the exercise until a petition filed by the Law Society of Kenya is heard and determined. Before the order was issued, 8 nominees appeared before 4 parliamentary committees where they defended their suitability for the positions.
You know, our investment and our engagement in DRC is not unilateral. It is pursuant to head of states agreement and resolution to the East African countries to engage in DRC. So we are not doing it unilaterally. The countries agreed, the head of states agreeing. So the commander-in-chief in our country is doing what he's doing is in pursuant to that agreement. But nevertheless, the other countries are already engaged. In fact, South Sudan, I think, is already engaged. Burundi is already engaged. Rwanda is already engaged on their side of the boundary. Uganda as well. The only country that is not as engaged as we speak, and I'm sure they would, and that is within their domestic discussion, is Tanzania. So it's not a unilateral decision. It is a shared responsibility within the East Africa, and we're just doing what we agreed to do. And as I said, the DRC question, the decision we made and took as a country is the right one.
On the situation of migrant workers, Kenyans who are working in other countries, particularly Saudi Arabia. I think number one, what we will do differently, or rather, if I may characterize the problem, it is my understanding that part of the problem actually starts here. It starts with the way in which they are sourced, the way in which they are processed, the terms in which they are employed, amongst others. So the number one thing that we must really do, Mr. Chair, is to make sure that from the Ministry of Labour, that we are very, very clear about what are the terms of engagement for our work, for our citizens who are working in Saudi Arabia and other countries. We would like to have that information availed to us as early as possible. We will develop a joint monitoring mechanism between the Ministry of Foreign Affairs and the Ministry of Labour, so that no Kenyan should be able to exit our borders to go and work in a particular jurisdiction, particularly in the Middle East, without the knowledge of our authorities.